What are we doing wrong? What do we need to do that Korea is doing right? 안녕하세요, 하이체입니다. 미국 뉴스에서 한국의 코로나 바이러스 시급에 대한 이야기가 많이 나왔습니다. 그래서 이 뉴스에 대한 미국인들의 반응 공유하고 그리고 왜 미국이 같은 일을 해야 하는지 설명하려고요. Okay, I'm going to speak English in this video. I don't want to say anything incorrectly, but as you guys know, things are crazy everywhere right now and things are seemingly getting worse here. I've seen things are improving in Korea, which is excellent news. I'm hoping that wherever you guys are watching from that you are safe and that everything is going well for you and your families. Panic has definitely set in now here in America. We've seen it at grocery stores, particularly with toilet paper. I have no idea why it's toilet paper, but that's been something that's like impossible to get for the last few days. So as Americans are keeping track of the news in other countries, one thing that has been in the news a lot and one thing that has been noticed by people here is that Korea, despite having a lot of cases, has had a very low death rate and has been managing the whole situation quite well, at least from our perspective over here. The death rate is 0.7% or so in Korea. I don't know what it is now, but in other countries such as Italy, we're seeing a death rate that's 10 times that, which is terrible and very sad. And this might not be the only reason why, but Korea seems to be doing an incredible job of getting people tested. So according to this news article, which is about 9 days old, the US had only tested 5 out of every 1 million people. And in Korea, they had tested about 3,700 of every million people. That's a 700 times difference. And that's absolutely crazy. And so people here are wondering, how is this possible? How are we so far behind? What are we doing wrong? What do we need to do that Korea is doing right? And so these are some of the news articles that I've seen across the last week. How South Korea has scaled testing while the US fell dangerously behind. How South Korea put into place the world's most aggressive test program. Cases have dropped sharply in South Korea. What's the secret to its success? Frustrations have grown as other countries have surpassed with ease the number of tests that are being performed in America. In South Korea, a leader in testing capabilities, 15,000 people are tested per day. No one is using big data as effectively as South Korea to combat this situation. So basically these articles are going into detail about how Korea is using technology and data to stop the spread and what the US needs to do to follow suit. And so of course the question for many Americans has been, why can't we do the same thing that Korea is doing? So these are some of the comments that I've seen online in response to Americans basically finding out that Korea has really handled this testing issue very well and basically questioning why we haven't been able to handle it. Good to see science and logic prevail somewhere. Would buy a ticket to Seoul, but they're probably too smart to let an American in. Why can't we have this? Wow, wish we were a first world country. I have yet to hear a convincing explanation as to why we can't duplicate this here. Is this a technological issue? If so, why haven't we asked the South Koreans for help? And I have heard just recently, I saw a Korean news article that the US has now reached out to South Korea in order to get help. So I hope that is the case. I hope that they are getting help. Wow, that's how it's done. That's what we need to do. At Real Donald Trump, you seeing this, this is how you respond to a pandemic. We're so behind on this and other countries have great ideas like this. We can barely do 500 a day. What is going on? This is another comment that I saw. Countries that failed to test early, Italy, are seeing higher death rates than countries that did, South Korea. This is a response to an article about testing in Korea, and it says, I now have 2 family members together in a New York City ER with symptoms. No tests. Hospital personnel are scared, certain they've also been exposed, and can't even get tested themselves. And so it's just crazy. You can see the frustration of people. They can't figure out why can't we do this? Why can't we get more tests? Why can't we follow this model of testing more people in order to figure out who is sick and who is healthy, and then taking the necessary steps after that. And if we do want to follow Korea's path and we don't want to go down Italy's path, which they're seeing continually increasing cases and a lot more deaths and a lot more people than their hospitals can currently handle, then we have to test way more than we're currently testing now. So I've seen different articles about how testing is essentially being handled in Korea versus being handled in the US. And so in this article I saw a woman returns home from work in Korea, sees a notice on her front door that they would like to test her. And so Korea is actually actively seeking out people who need to be tested. It turns out that somebody in her apartment complex had tested positive. And then you look at the situation here in the US where we have people who want to be tested but cannot. They cannot be tested even though they want to, and they are showing symptoms of being sick. It's just absolutely crazy. So this is a story about a woman who returned to New York from Seattle, and Seattle was actually the first place where we really started to have a problem here. So it says she developed a cough and then a fever of 104 degrees with a very serious headache and felt like she was going to die. So she calls her doctor's office and said that, hey, I've been in Seattle. I may have been exposed because I was at a Starbucks where a worker tested positive. They told her, sorry, you don't meet the testing criteria. I guess the good news is now that after things are seemingly getting much worse here, is that the government has started to take it more seriously, and they do seem to be taking steps. And people here are also taking steps to make sure they're not around too many other people. But honestly, I think the situation is so much worse than what the numbers currently say for the United States. I think we have way more positive tests that are officially reflected because there are so many people that should be tested. There are so many people that want to be tested that are not being tested. And as Korea has shown, if you can test more people, you can isolate more people and you can protect everybody else. Right now, it kind of feels like we're at this point where we either go towards the direction of what Korea has done, or we go to the direction towards of what is happening in Italy, what is happening in Europe. And I just don't know if we're prepared, if we had taken enough precautions, if we got ready early enough in order to stop this. So I don't know, and I think it'll take at least another week before we really know what's going on here, if we can get enough tests. I've heard that we're getting help from Korea and other countries to get more tests here and get the technology right, and I guess we'll find out how bad the situation really is here. So the area that I'm in appears to be very safe, but I am just trying to remain at home as much as possible, keep distance so that I'm not inadvertently spreading something or contributing to the problem. So since I'm home so much, hopefully I can make some movie reviews this week. I hope everybody in Korea or wherever you are is very safe. And hopefully this all ends soon, and I'm sure it will, and we'll get back to life as normal. So please be safe, and we will see you soon. Thank you for watching. Bye.